first thing that really comes to my mind when I think of RUH is a culmination of every aspect of our life, because that is, it's our center point.
Spirituality is all about connection. It's about our connection to ourselves and our souls and our spirits, and thus our connection to Allah.
It's not just with Islam. There's so many religions out there, right, in the world. There's so many different people, and we're blessed enough that we get the opportunity to meet with all of these people.
My name is Sayyida Warda Hashmi. My name is Asma Hassan.
Muzammil Fazi.
Sarah Jata.
Raza Ul-Haq.
Shanur Fatima Saeed.
Salman Haq.
Tayal Tariq.
Nava Fazi.
Edwin Santiago.
Nan Shafi.
And my professional goal as of right now is to become a PA.
I just graduated from the University of Illinois at Chicago with a degree in political science.
I am getting my undergrad in kinesiology.
Professionally, inshallah, within a year I'll be done with law school.
I am an urban planner.
I'm a fitness professional specializing in human biomechanics.
I am a lawyer back in India, and I will soon be becoming a lawyer in a month from now in the United States and India.
Were you born Muslim?
Yes.
Yes, I was born Muslim.
Yes, I was born a Muslim.
I was born Muslim, yes.
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 No, I wasn't.
I was lucky enough to be born in a Muslim family, but I was also not lucky enough because I took it for granted for a long time, and it was the same ritual again and again, probably not understanding what it means to be a Muslim. But I would say I've been living on my own for past 1 decade. I got in contact with the real life of my own, being by myself and learning the experiences. I think those were the times when I actually got struck with what the reality outside the cocoon's nest of being in Kashmir and being born in a Muslim family was all about. The identity of being a Muslim is more when you interact with people who are not even Muslims, and how are you with them.
Choosing to be Muslim is something we do multiple times in our life. I feel like it's a decision we make every time it's challenging to be Muslim, or every time we think about and reflect on why we're Muslim. When I would say, so since I was like 3 or 4 years old, you know, we used to have Qari Saab in the house. So I didn't have sense about Islam back then, obviously, but when I turned 9 years old, that's when I actually realized what Islam is and what being as a Muslim really feels like.
I don't think I've ever really thought about that, because growing up it was something that I was born into, so I didn't ever think about when I chose it. And I think after going to Sunday school and having conversations with my parents and engaging in those conversations about what Islam is, what I've been learning at Sunday school, things that sometimes were taught to me that didn't necessarily settle right with me. So probably when I was like in my teens, I would more so have conversations with both of my brothers about certain things that we learned or certain things. I think there is this common misconception about how women are treated in Islam, and I think I chose Islam when I was able to start to separate what culturally dictated how women were treated versus how Islamically you should treat women. And I think that's when I chose it, because for me it was, I want this.
So I chose to be Muslim probably a little bit before my teen years. It was kind of this moment where I was just having more opportunities for reflection. So when I was probably about 10 years old, I joined Muslim Girl Scouts. Actually, my mom started a Muslim Girl Scout troop back in Salt Lake City, where we moved. And we've started to have a lot of conversations about growing up and our role in the world and what our religion means for us. And I think it just provided a platform for me to have the opportunity to reflect and kind of think about the things my parents taught me and what our religion was all about. And I think from there, I kind of realized that I was always drawn to this spiritual path and way, and that's where I really connected to it. And then soon after that, I started wearing hijab, and I think that's where my journey started.
I converted to Islam on February 18, 2009. What led me to that decision was that at that time I was working as a security guard. Someone left the Quran on a table in the cafeteria. It was there like for like 3 days. Even like the janitors and nobody touched it. Like all day long, it was there. And I noticed that. So like one day, like I just like heard like this voice that said, "Come to me." So I was curious, and I just went and took the Quran, and I took it back to my supervisor, and I said, "Hey, this was there for like 3 days. Could I keep it, or should I give it to you?" And he was like, "No, you can keep it." So I did. So I took it home, and I really didn't like read it right away. So I just like put it like on a shelf, and like I had like this feeling like that was saying like come to me, read this. And I did, and at first it scared me, because it was like a lot of talk about like you burn in hell if you don't do the right thing. So I was kind of like a little bit like freaked out about it. But then like I just felt like this presence, like something, I can't explain. It was just more like a feeling that was like saying, like calling me, like yeah, come to me, So I decided to go to a mosque, just for like research, to see, what was it about. Because until that point, I always thought that Islam was like a cult. It was, that was like the impression that was given to me. I went for a prayer, and I started talking to people. Like I talked to the imam. So he was like, "Okay, why don't you come, pray with us?" And I was like, "I don't know how to pray the way you pray." He's like, "Just stand there." So okay, and do what everybody else do, Okay, so I did that. I started hearing the adhan, the call for prayer, and like I had like an epiphany. I just felt like I was in a place where like I lost myself and found myself at the same time, and I heard that voice again, like saying, like, "This is for you, like this is for you." I broke down to tears because like I just became like so overwhelmed with like emotion. From there on, I took the Shahada, and the rest is history.
Spirituality. For me, it means my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and just the way I view Islam. To me, it's like intertwined with religion and character and sunnah.
Spirituality for me is your connection to your creator, my creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how strong it is, how strong your connection is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
As Allama Iqbal, one of the greatest poets, said, "Unbeliever is he who just follows a predestination. But the believer among us is, even if that person is not Muslim, but the believer among us is the one who is the predestination." The concept of spirituality has been something that I've been trying to learn for a long time. In the beginning, I started reading books of people who talked about spirituality. However, what I felt and realized is spirituality is a constant struggle.
For me, especially lately, spirituality is the surrendering to Allah, really just taking the chains of the dunya, of your life that we are so bound to, and just day after day trying to break the chains and sincerely reconnect with Allah and the creator that we came from.
Wow, spirituality. Spirituality is, again, is just surrendering, to the higher power, and submitting, to Allah's will, and trusting, Allah, and knowing that everything happens for a reason, and that the ups and downs in life, it's all, you look back, you can see the whole landscape, that you come to the self-realization, like, hey, I went through some tough times, but it made me stronger at the end.
I think spirituality is so much more related to like calmness and like peace within oneself, whereas like religion is more of like worship. So like worship is different than like meditation, for example. I was literally having this conversation last night with a Hindu friend. Like she was speaking on about how like there's a difference between meditation and spirituality and religion, but they're so connected in terms of ideas. But like spirituality plays more towards this like inner peace, like individuality and like peace within yourself, whereas religion is more towards worshiping something in certain like practices. Like spirituality, you can achieve spirituality in a wide range of ways, whereas prayer is like specified.
If you take an example of a pianist, when that pianist learns to play a tune, the way he gets better is by practicing and taking chances and trying to connect to the tune that he already believes in. And that constant struggle of his with learning the whole concept of learning piano or other tunes is what makes him more and more closer to the concept of learning tunes. Similarly, spirituality with a person is a constant struggle. It's that divine connection that you have with the divine person, where I'm talking about God here, but then for a lot of people, they probably don't believe in God, but they tend to be spiritual even then. So I would say it's that constant struggle that where you try to connect with someone, and how you actually help yourself in fulfilling that is by having a constant discipline in you, where you have that urge of connecting to something more than per usual. Be it waking up early in the morning at 4 o'clock and following the trend of going for Fajr and delighting your day by waking up and like following that beautiful thing in the morning, or be it anything else. I would say discipline and the constant struggle and the eagerness, the urge in your heart is something that helps you get closer to spirituality.
Our bodies are basically this physical essence, and the soul and the spirit is really the true part of our being. And I feel like if we're not connected to that, we're not really connecting to ourselves, and we can't really connect to Allah. And if thus we can become disconnected and more like not aware about our place in the world and what we're doing to get close to Allah.
It means finding that balance between religion and trying to understand not only where you fit in the bigger picture, but what the bigger picture actually is, right? It's not just with Islam. There's so many religions out there, right, in the world. There's so many different people, and we're blessed enough that we get the opportunity to meet with all of these people. When you put yourself in these positions that you might not originally feel comfortable with, you meet so many different people and you find out about their life experiences, and you never know, you could have like the smallest thing in common with somebody, and that can really bring you together. And again, through your work, you find out like, I have a purpose. I was made for a reason, and whatever it may be. I mean, there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's psychologists, there's so many professions out there, and it's not necessarily just professions, but it's anytime you interact with anybody. You could go to the grocery store and start talking to your cashier and find out like, oh hey, look, we have this in common, although you never would have thought about it. So it's really figuring out, I think spirituality for me is tying Islam in, because that's a big part of my identity, into what's my purpose and why am I here.
The spirit, from what I know, it's something that is not tangible, but very tangible at the same time. It's the core to our very living. Even though we can't see it, we can't prove it, but as Muslims, and I'm sure as there's other people that know that it's there.
When you think about like body and soul, it's like it's all very temporary, but like your soul carries with you, right? Your soul carries with you to the afterlife, and so like this is just, the body is temporary but the soul is forever.
So when I think of RUH, the first thing that comes to mind is spirituality, religion, and everyday life. And it's really, if you make like a Venn diagram, it's the point in the middle is RUH. And that's the awesome thing, is that 7 billion people on the planet, every single person has their own spirit, their own RUH. And getting to discuss with others and interacting with them and finding out not only what differences there are, but what you guys have in common, that's the amazing thing, because we're all so different, but we're all exactly the same. We're all just people trying to figure out where we fit in the bigger picture. And all of our spirits, all of our RUH really can come together, and we really can. It sounds cheesy, but we really can make the world a better